Welcome to the Single Era Diaries, exploring the journey of a woman who hasn't experienced what it's like to be single in her entire adult life, and pretty much most of her teenage life too. Each episode will navigate the journey of finding a sense of identity, exploring the challenges of co-parenting, finding love of self and healing, all whilst tackling the complexities of the checkered landscape of dating and dating apps, meeting new people, and operating solo in a world that celebrates couples, marriage, and codependency. I am your host, founder of Nascent Media and newly single woman, Jade, and this is the diary of my single era. So this is the final episode of this season of the Single Era Diaries, and I'm recording the episode from my bed. I feel very Paulie Yates on the bed, 90s, The Big Breakfast right now, especially as I'm looking and feeling a bit dishevelled. I've had a bit of a dishevelled few days. I would have what I would describe as being the breakup crash. I think this has probably been a long time coming, and I think there's a saying that I've heard in the past that really applies to what is going on right now, which is that if you don't rest and listen to your body when it needs to take a break, then your body will take that for you, and I think that is what is happening right now. So given that I am wrapping this season, I guess I wanted to be really transparent about the fact that going through a breakup, and this will not come as a surprise to anybody that has been through a breakup before, or is going through a breakup, or a separation, or the demise of a relationship, or a divorce, or learning about an infidelity. I think everybody pretty much knows that this stuff is really hard going, and everybody has their own way of coping with things when life gets difficult. My way is to throw myself into as many things as possible and to keep myself completely busy so that I'm not able to necessarily feel what I'm feeling. And that is really how the Single Era Diaries came about. This podcast was not planned. It was not part of the schedule for my audio content marketing studio that I'm in the midst of starting up. It was not an idea. I had absolutely zero plan to start a podcast about my actual life and the fact that it has unraveled and I now find myself single. So the fact that this has taken a great deal of my time and focus and energy is really quite miraculous, but it's also really indicative of the process that I have in order to try and get through stuff. And this podcast has been creative expression, it's been an outlet, it's been a space for me to channel my hurt and my pain and my energies into something constructive and to hopefully in some way be purposeful for others that are perhaps going through a similar situation to myself, or have been through it and are at the other side, or are just interested in what the process of going through a breakup after a long-term relationship has ended. But given that this wasn't the plan, I have really enjoyed the process of delving into something that I didn't ever think I would need to delve into, which is relationships and their breaking down. And suffice to say that the Single Era Diaries will be continuing. There will be a follow-up season that will be coming out in September, and it will be more structured. It will have some interviews on with some experts who have much more knowledge and expertise in the space that I'm delving into around relationships and dating and recovery from breakups and all of the things that I've really been sort of circling around, but at quite a high level. I want to carry on with this podcast because I do believe that it's really important that we share the lows as well as the highs. I think I'm definitely somebody, as I think most of us are, we put out into the world our show reel of how wonderful life is, and we share the best bits. It's kind of like the Big Brother best bits synopsis, the little montage that you used to get at the end of Big Brother, which would show all of the little clips of the various housemates and all of the great stuff that they'd done. And I think that is what we're probably all guilty of doing. We all do that, don't we, on our social media? We show the best bits, how lovely it is, our holiday, where we've been, what we're doing. But I think it is rarer to see people sharing the shit parts. And I think what that can do for all of us is when we only see people's best bits, is that we start to compare our lives to that, and we feel that we are in some way inadequate or lacking or less than because our best bits aren't as shiny or as bright as other people's best bits. And the truth is that we are all having shit bits. We are all having hard times of it, even when we only put the shiny, lovely pictures on our Instagram feed or our TikToks of us dancing. Like, we are all going through tiny heartbreaks over and over again in our lives that we aren't necessarily sharing. And what I really believe in, and I kind of see this as a bit of an act of service really, is that it's great to show our best bits, and I have an enormous amount of time and advocate for being positive and having a positive mindset. But I do believe that we also need to be real. And this is my real moment. This is the real moment where what I thought was my life and what I thought my life was going to be is no longer. And it's an incredibly bitter pill to swallow, because we all envision for ourselves what we believe our life is going to be like, and we do that especially when we begin relationships and we start partnerships, or we accept an engagement proposal, or we start a family with somebody. We all have this vision of what our life is going to be, and sometimes it lives up to it and oftentimes it doesn't, and sometimes we have to flip the script a little or change or adapt. But I'll be very honest, despite the fact that there were challenges in my long-term partnership with my ex, I did not see that this is where I was going to be this summer. I could not have foreseen or foretold that this is where it was going to end up. I truly believe that he and I would just continue to work at it, because frankly, that's the model that I know. The model that I know in life is that you try and you try and you try and you try. And even if it takes you 20 years to complete your degree or to get your driving license or to do whatever it is, no matter how long it takes, you keep trying, you keep picking yourself up and you keep trying. And that's the model that I know and understand. And I thought that that was what was going to happen with my relationship. I simply thought that we would get through the hard times that we were going through with trying to work together and live together, and the back end of the pandemic and my being the main earner and us becoming parents and our life no longer being in the city. I really thought we were just simply going to work together to adapt to the next stage. And it turns out that I was wrong. And so where I find myself now is in a place that I could not have foreseen. I am sweeping up a business that I have folded. I am starting a new business which is all consuming, and I've been throwing myself into it at ridiculous hours of the day. I haven't been taking care of myself. I've been burning myself out of the gym, running my daughter around and overscheduling her in lots of activities, and distracting myself with this work. And the sum total of all of that is that I think this weekend I have had what I spoke about my not being able to have back in the episode on the post-breakup glow-up, where I talked about the fact that I didn't have the space to just sort of crash. I couldn't just fall into bed and just not get up and just sort of drink a bottle of wine and just feel sorry for myself. And I've actually done that. I've done exactly what I said I wasn't able to do, because I had a little bit of grace over the course of this weekend, with my daughter staying with her father for a couple of days and then staying with my parents. And it meant that even though I had plans and I'd made plans with friends, I was supposed to be going to a lovely brunch that I'd organised, I did something that I think is actually quite brave. I said to everybody, I am not okay. I'm not okay. And I don't feel good. And I just need to let my heart and my head catch up with what my body's doing right now, because I am exhausted and tired of pretending that everything is fine and that I'm fine, and being happy-go-lucky and smiling and chatting and asking everybody what's going on with them when my life is falling apart. And so I just need to crash for a little while. And that's what I've done. And that's what I'm still doing. That's why I'm filming and recording this episode from bed, because today is a day that I'm supposed to be doing lots of things. I'm supposed to be pitching to win clients and doing all of these different things, and I'm not doing them. I'm in bed recording an episode that should have been recorded last weekend. I'm not reading from the script. I'm just doing what I feel needs to be done, which is to be honest and to say it's hard and it's messy and I'm tired. And what I'm also doing is acknowledging the fact that the whole thing about being on dating apps is frankly for nothing more than external validation. I am not ready to date. I am not ready for a new relationship. I initially, at the outset of breaking up with my former life partner, before I knew about the infidelity, I had set my stall out to say I am going to be single for 2 years, because I recognised that that would likely be the time that I would need to have to get over the grief of what I had finishing. And it was only upon discovering that my former life partner had been dishonest and unfaithful and had started up with somebody before we'd officially ended that I took to dating apps. And that's being completely honest. I took to dating apps because I wanted to feel validated, because I didn't feel validated in my life. I could not understand for the life of me, and I still can't understand for the life of me, why my ex chose that woman over our family, over me, over our life. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't understand why that person seemed to be a better option than what we had and what deserved to be worked on, frankly. And so I am, apart from recording this episode to wrap the series, taking a break from social media. I'm taking a break from dating apps. I'm taking a break from everything just for a minute, because I technically should be on holiday and I'm not on holiday, because I'm sorting finances out for my new business and pitching and doing all of these different things to get my life back on track, because it has unraveled. And I want anybody listening to this that is going through a similar process right now, a little bit like what I just spoke about a few moments ago with the social media thing, where it looks and feels like our best bits. I think this podcast became a little bit like the best bits. I think it started off really honestly and transparently about what was going on. And then I tried to segue into being very slick and organised and professional, talking about different subjects and topics that are all completely valid. But I think the essence of this podcast has to be the truth of the situation, and the truth of the situation and what I want other people to know is that it's okay to not be okay. If you are not feeling okay in the midst of your breakup or your divorce or your separation or finding out that there has been infidelity, that is okay. And whilst it might be inconvenient for other people that you're not okay, you need to honour the fact that you're not okay. You need to honour the fact that you're hurting, that you're sad, that you're upset, that you're depressed, that you don't necessarily want to do the things that you should want to do, that you don't want to see people, that you don't want to see the happy holiday photographs of other people's family holidays. Like, anyone that's listening to this, please don't send people that are going through a divorce and a breakup happy family pictures of you on your family holiday. The timing is not appropriate. It's not helpful to the person that you're sending them to. And I really don't know why you think that that's okay to do that. So please don't. Like, it's okay to feel like you want to feel validated. Like, all of these things are okay. Like, I'm going to completely forgive myself for the fact that I've put myself out there on dating apps and have frankly acted like a bit of a twat because I'm not ready to be on them. I'm not ready to allow somebody into my space to hurt me. I don't want to be hurt this soon. I'm still hurting from this. Like, I'm still in pain. It's like I've had open heart surgery and I am lying on the theatre bed and my heart is wide open and I haven't been stitched back up and I haven't rehabilitated and I haven't convalesced and I haven't healed. I should not be out in the world contemplating anything with anybody whilst my heart is still wide open and pumping of blood and pain. So that is really where this season 1 has got to end. It has to pause for the remainder of the summer and come back with some force and a little bit more, I think, radical honesty, but also clear direction of travel. This has been a fly by the seat of my pants kind of podcast that came to me as an idea whilst I was listening to a podcast in the gym. I'm like, yeah, I should share my journey. And so I've deviated from the plan and the path of Go Your Own Way and some of the meditations. And I focus my energies on this. And so for now, for this summer, I'm going to pause and I want to thank everybody for listening and for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for the support that has been given to me, but right now I'm going to continue my hiatus so that I can feel the feelings that I need to feel and work through them with a therapist rather than being on dating apps, because dating apps are not the place when you're needing to heal. Like, being told that I am beautiful by strangers on the internet felt minorly good for like a nanosecond, but the novelty is definitely worn off, because what I really want that I'm not ready for is love. I love love. I love giving love. I love receiving love. I love feeling in love. I love being loved. I love hugs and kisses and surprises and just everyday life with somebody. And I've lost that. And I don't have that. And so I need to work on how I can process that before I can go forward. And so with that, thank you for listening to the Single Era Diaries Season 1. And we'll be back in the autumn or the fall if you're an American listener. And peace out. The Single Era Diaries is produced and distributed by Nascent Media and executive produced by me, Jade Graham. Podcasts grow by being liked and shared. So if you enjoyed today's show, then please be sure to like and share with a friend who you think will enjoy the show too. Subscribe, and if you have a moment to rate and review wherever it is that you listen to your podcast, that would be super appreciated too. Thank you for listening, and peace out.